Okay, I am live. I'm a few minutes late, but I am live. Do apologize for that brief bit of lateness. I was taking a bit of a nap after I was just kind of a busy afternoon, but got up a little bit late. I got some things done, but not totally finished setting up yet, so spend the first few minutes setting up. At the same time, letting people have time to come on board and join the live stream. And I'm not going to need this bit today. I will need this. Get my tape out. Water that is with salt that is simmering. Into the fridge with the ricotta that has been wrapped in paper towels and maybe not dehydrating is the wrong word, but well, it's becoming thicker. I'm getting rid of this moisture, so yeah, a little bit of dehydrating. So anyway, let's see if I can get this chat thing working. Pop out chat. Okay, this is open with Chrome, yes. So pop the Chrome. So I'm gonna go past the cameras. Probably see me in a gigantic way that you don't want to. Little tripod here, so for a little bit of hands-free action. Okie dokie. So there we go. Do I have other stuff going up here? I don't think so. Okay. So the chat room is up there on my little tablet. I'm going to do the last bits of prep work here. As you can see, the ricotta is out and ready, but it is not mixed yet. The dough is made ahead of time. And again, if you've got any comments, any questions, or just whatever you want to say, just put it in the chat room if you're watching live. Otherwise, leave a comment. So let's see, what am I doing now? I think I'll rinse this out. Ricotta water, which I still want. Yeah, that's good enough. Take the ricotta that is in the pieces of paper towel and get a little zoom in close up here. Don't know how good it'll be, but this is the 7.5 ounces of ricotta cheese that's going to go into our ravioli. I'll probably have a bunch left over, but that's what happens. And so now, plop this goes in there. Throw this in the garbage. And hey, Nick is here. Hey, let's ravioli some raviolis. Sorry I'm late to the party. What kind of sauce today? Well, for the sauce, I'm not going to do anything impressive. Just some store-bought junk from Myers. Partially because I'm cheap and don't want to get the San Marzanos, and partially because I'm lazy. I don't want to take the time to make that sauce. So, and besides, the ravioli is what's important here. Speaking of, let's get a little bit started on that. One thing I got to do is, because I'm not putting in ricotta alone, I'm going to put an egg into the mixture as well. If I can find the knife, here it is. That has been drying in the dry half of the sink. Let's see if I can't totally butcher this egg up. Yeah, there we go. If I can't open this up without getting any, oh, this is about to be, crike. Crikey. Squished the shell, but did not get any in there, I don't think. So into the, you know what, I'm just going to move this here so I don't have to get in front of the camera to do it. trying to remember who it was. Was it Bob the Raptor, either from the chat room or either through YouTube or whatever? I don't remember exactly, but I think he suggested to make this spicy. I didn't want to put something actual. I didn't want to use spicy meat inside the ravioli or whatever, but I did say that a few stray pepper flakes might find its way into the filling, so I'm thinking I don't have any cayenne pepper flakes, but I don't want to go nuts, so I'm just going to use wimpy little jalapenos. Jalapeno flakes here. Let's sprinkle a little bit of that into this filling. Just a little bit. Yeah, actually a little more. A little more. That's what that'll do. Get a fork, or maybe a whisk would be better. Whisk is getting dry, I think. There we are. Oh my goodness, I think the heat's getting to my nose. Yeah. That's what happens on live television or live YouTube. I've got another comment, and I'm not sure who it's from yet because I'm on the other side of the table. But you know what? Nick says, whoa, if you're going to go spicy, you need to do a ravioli food challenge. I don't know. Now, if I'm going to do a challenge, maybe put some Reaper flakes in here, but I got to get the pasta down first. First things first, obviously. So, yeah, right? And now, of course, all the filling is stuck inside the whisk, so let's get that out of there. Maybe I should have done a fork to begin with. Let's use a fork the rest of the way. So now the filling has ricotta, an egg, and some jalapeno flakes. And you know what? I'm stupid. I'm going to add some more. That's enough. Go. I'm calling this done. I'll plate it here for the moment. Put that in the sink. And now I will finish up the setup. Put that in there. Finish the setup for getting the pasta stuff ready. So I'm going to get what's left of my Meyer wax paper. I don't know if this is more of a ritual for me or just something that I like doing. Tape it down with my masking tape. Again, the weird thing that I do. There, and one there. That'll do, I think. The dough here, which has dried considerably. Oh, it's got crusty a little, but I think it'll work. So for those of you that are joining late, one, I got a late start, so you're not in any problem. And second, I've got this filling here with with ricotta, an egg, and some jalapeno flakes just to up the spice factor a little bit. And again, I'm only using plain old Meyer tomato and basil sauce because I'm cheap and lazy. I'm ready to prepare the dough. Let's get this out of the way. But actually, let's move the camera over a little bit and get a close-up of the pasta station in action. Let's get this up, crank it up, and then crank it down to 1. Give it a little dusting of flour just to make things easy peasy for the first go around. As indeed this is part of the process. And as you can see here, here's my ravioli maker. You can see it. I'll show you how I use it, or plan to use it in a bit. Thing doesn't want to stay still. Actually, let me just loosen this up a little bit. Slide it around a little bit more. Slide it, turn it around. In addition, I'll move the comment tablet somewhere where I can see it. And crap, it did it again. Alright. Crank, 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 crank. It's crumbly at first, which is not great, but that's okay. We can fix that. Did not expect the dough to work first time around. Never do. And again, if you got any questions or comments, please leave a comment in the chat area, or just leave a comment in the comment section if you're not watching this live. Alright, it's getting there. And by the way, the contents of this dough, if you've seen the last 2 episodes, are just a little bit of flour and eggs. That's it. And the pasta maker is now cooperating with me, which is excellent. Fold that around, smash it, put it in lengthwise now. Yeah, this way I'll do it. Now the dough's starting to resemble the spaghetti dough, pasta dough that I like. Nick Herbst again, the pasta maker is 20 years old, right? No, it's not 20 plus years old, it's 30 plus years old. Are the modern day ones any better, or hasn't there really been much in improvement and innovation? The one I'm using seems great. Well, I've actually never tried any other pasta makers other than this one. And so far it seems to do the job, and basically the technique is just to flatten it, just to keep flattening dough and flattening and flattening, and then squeezing it until it gets to the thickness that you'll want with a pasta. And then, this is how proper Italian pasta is done by hand, at least. Afterwards, you'd run it through this little contraption if you saw one of my other videos. Or in my last video I tried using a ravioli thing, which totally sucked, which is why I'm using this thing later on. Okay. Now I've heard that there are ravioli makers for stand mixers, but I do not have a stand mixer. And honestly, I want to try this one first to see how it works. Now the goal, not the option, but the objective of the pasta maker at this stage is to get it so that it's nice and smooth. I'm still not at that point yet. I'm still getting a few bumpies here and there every now and then. Let's put this in here. There we go, there, that. And some of the tape is coming off, and I did small crappy pieces anyway, so right, put that in there. It's starting to feel good now. Smooth, as Strong Bed would say, smooth and clean like gasoline. Take a look here. There. Let's do one more, and if it turns out smooth and good here, I'll start with the flat with the thinning. Although I think I should have added some flour there. Oh, it's crumbling a little bit. Yeah. I should have added some flour. Let's try that again. I'll learn one of these days. Alright, back here. Need. This is so exciting. Can't you just see? I can't tell you how excited I am. I can't tell how excited you must be just watching me continuously rolling this dough through this cranky thing over and over and over and over again. This is the part that I would edit out in my normal videos. But you see it all in its live, streamy goodness. Or badness. I like the looks of this. Okay. Just for fun, yeah, actually. You know what? I'm going to call that. So now let's start thinning this dough out. So now I'm not going to fold it. My goal is to get this thing about twice as long as this mold here. And I think I'll do it. It is on number 2. Crank comes out of the... Is it the shaft or whatever crap is on now? There we go. That's better. way. I don't want no tape ravioli. And no, Nick, I'm not going to do that challenge. Not tape ravioli, but anyway. I think I'm going to flatten this out to level 5. That's what I did the last time on the failed ravioli challenge last week. And I think that'll work. Yow. Is it on number 3? Yeah, it's on number 3. Push you back, Mr. Chatbot. That looks good. Number 4. Okay, I'm getting close. Not quite long enough yet. Hopefully we'll get long enough by the time I get to level 5. Otherwise, I'm going to be maybe not mildly upset. It may mean I have to flatten this out to level 6 just to make one serving out of this strip of dough. Okay, level 5 on the cranky doodle. There's the cranky doodle. Dub question maybe, but what is the pasta dough made of? I thought I mentioned it earlier, but just in case, it's just eggs and flour. That's it. The recipe I used when I put this in the food processor was 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 extra large egg. Or I just used the jumbo egg. But yeah, look at that thickness. Oh, I think we have a winner here. Okay. So now here comes the moment of truth. First, let me find my cutter wheel and dry off a little bit off camera. There you go. Yes, it's a pizza cutter, but it works fine for cutting dough at this stage. And in the meantime, I'm going to crank up the heat on my water, which is off camera as well. So now, what to do? What to do? So first, I think I'm going to just put, actually, you know, let's see where would look best on camera. Probably right here. So I'll take this bit of dough off. And then put this thing here. This is the new ravioli mold that I bought about a week or so ago, shortly after my failed attempt last time. So, the way this supposedly works is I'm going to lay a piece of dough on top of the mold like so. And then I press this thing into here to create some pockets for the ravioli filling. Now, I'm not sure how hard to squeeze it because I threw the box away. I'll not throw it away, but let me just check it real quick. All it says is just to press this into the dough to create indentations. Doesn't say how hard though. Okay, I reckon that, oh, I hope that wasn't too much. There we go. Let's see if I can't get a nice little zoom into that. How does that look? There's my forearm there. Not that you care about that, but anyway. Turn the water down just a little bit because I hear it bubbling. And now I'm going to take this stuff, my ravioli filling, which if you just joined us is ricotta cheese, which has been properly drained. And this is also whole ricotta cheese versus the low-fat stuff I got last week. It's a little yellow because I got an egg in there. And the little chunky things you see there are jalapeno flakes, just to make it a little spicy. And I don't want a fork for this. I want a spoon. Put a fair amount in there. That might be telling if it's too much or not. I'm not sure. Let me look at the box again. I should really read the instructions on these things before I go live in front of the world. Well, the picture on the back, well, let me just show you what the picture says on the back of this thing. So, that's the step I just completed. I don't know if you can see that well, but it looks like the filling is sort of standing out a little bit, so, I'll give it a shot. I don't want to overfill it. A little more in there. That's a little too much, I think, for that one. This is the procedure, part of the procedure that makes me wonder if I'm doing it right or not. Oh, we got some more comments here. Christopher Herbst, nope, the family's all here. Looks delicious. Any way to spice up the raviolis? I'm thinking flashbang. Chris, I hate you. But anyway, legitimately to spice up this ravioli, I did put in some jalapeno flakes at the very beginning of the show. So this filling is ricotta cheese, whole ricotta cheese, plus 1 egg, plus a fair amount of jalapeno flakes. It's not going to be super spicy, but I don't want it to be super spicy. Just enough to make you sweat a tiny bit. I don't know if you can see, you can't really see the maker in action now. It's a little mold. You might be able to rewind back in the video and see what it looked like beforehand. But actually, this actually might be a perfect amount of filling. Oh my goodness. I'm wondering if I'm overstuffing these, but you know what? I honestly don't care right now. It's an experiment, and I like experimenting. And Chris, just for your information, I tempted myself to use habanero flakes to spice in this, but I wasn't ready for that yet. Although Nick, as you can see in the chat, did suggest maybe a food challenge in the future. I won't rule that out completely. Let's see. So there we go. Those are some raviolis with just the bottom half with the filling. Wiping my finger on the wax paper. It says, how did you cut your forearm, Brian? That was about a few minutes ago when I don't know what I was trying to do. I was just trying to do something with the stove or whatever. I just scraped it along the corner of one of the edges there. It's just a flesh wound. And don't worry, I'm not putting this in any of the ravioli. But even if I did, I'm the one that's eating it, so. So anyway, part the second, the ravioli. Top bottom part of the ravioli goes up on here. And now here's where I'm getting kind of concerned, where I put maybe too much in. It says now to roll this thing over with a rolling pin to seal the edges. Before I do that, I'm going to move the pasta rolling machine out of the way. Jalapeno's always good. Yep. I don't want to overdo it. Plus, it'll add some nice flavor to it. Flavor over heat. So anyway, wish me luck with this. Here comes this part. Ah! Well, actually, maybe this might be better. Yeah, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This'll do. Oh my goodness. So far I'm... Now let's see, one more roll. And let's see, did anything squish through underneath? Actually, I'm not even going to bother, it's too delicate of an operation, so I'm just going to take my pizza wheel and again cut along the indentations. And I am extremely thankful that the water is boiling so I can just cook these as soon as I possibly can. And again, Chris, if you just joined us, I'm not using any fancy pants sauce this time. Just some cheapo store-bought tomato basil sauce. Mainly because I'm cheap and lazy. I didn't want to spend $5 on more San Marzanos, and I was too lazy to actually make the sauce. I know you're disappointed. I can just tell how disappointed you are in the comment you're about to make. So anywho, let's slice this up a little bit. Oh, that may have been too much on that one. And I think I can squeeze the dough on this side here because it's not part of the ravioli. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Extra pinching to keep it together. Alright, let's start by peeling off the sides first. And a little bit of squishing out on the side, but I think it's not too bad. Oh, some squishing out here on the... Okay, there we go there. Along this side, not much squishy action. No. Did this actually work? Let's turn it over. A little bit. For my money, these look actually fine. I think this one might have a little penetration, little gooshing action on this one, but everything else looks like it's fine. And it's now I realize I think I made a big mistake and forgot to grease or put some olive oil on top of the mold so they won't come out as easily. Remove ravioli from frame by tapping on the counter. Oh, aha! Alright, alright, alright. That looks nice. If I can get this one out. Yes. And now this one. Oh. Now these ones are starting to come out. Oh boy, this is a delicate operation. Oh my goodness. That worked so much better than the last time. Separate these a little bit more. I think because the dough is thick but not too... Because the dough is thin but not too thin, they're holding together better. These are maybe not jumbo raviolis, but these are stuffed with like 3 F's raviolis, or poorly spelled stuffed ravioli like all those popular chains do. Oh man, so far this works so much better than last time. Any other comments here? Wow, they look fantastic. Almost there. Indeed I am. Just crank up the heat on the water a little bit. Get it from mildly boiling to ridiculously boiling. And now let's turn it over to the next portion, the pot. And for your information, I did put some salt into this water beforehand for flavor, obviously. And let me get a plate. This is probably going to be a good dinner for me. All right, 3, 4, 5. Putting in the raviolis by hand into the bowl. Given how well these have turned out so far, I'm still now tempted again to create that series, Will It Ravioli, by just putting random fillings of anything I feel like into these things and see if it makes a good pasta or not. So anyway, oh, that's a good rolling boil. That's an aggressive boil. So set timer for 5 minutes. I reckon that'll be good. And so here we go. Pasta in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Start the clock. Meanwhile, should I heat? While I'm waiting for that, I'm also going to microwave the sauce a little bit into a small bowl just so it's nice and ready. Nice cheapo store-bought tomato sauce. Oh, I can taste the basil. Four minutes to go here. Find a paper towel to cover up the bowl with the sauce in. And again, more comment. No more comments, just stuff going on. So this is not nearly as interesting or stupid or failure ridden as my last time out making stuff, but it's a little bit more successful. These are looking better than the Dayton Flyers today. Well, I didn't watch that game, and judging by your comment, I'm probably glad I didn't. They have just been so inconsistent this season. Just you never know where you're gonna get the team that destroyed VCU, or the team that rolled over and played dead against St. Joe's. Let's see. Let me rinse out one of my forks. That beepy noise means the sauce is done, I hope, but I can smell it, so I feel steam coming from it, so yeah, I'll call the sauce done. And now the raviolis here. Nothing is spilling out. These are looking top notch, top class. I'm wondering if maybe the dough might be a little too thick for this, but then again, given the amount of filling I put into these, they may had to have been as thick as it needed to be, or as thick as they are. So anyway, about 2.5 minutes left to go on these raviolis. Still looking good, still intact. No leakage, no spillage, no junk like last time. I'm already calling this ravioli mold a success. Now the ravioli filling themselves, we shall see in maybe 5 minutes. And again, if you're joining us late, please leave a comment if you got any questions or whatever. Honestly, I think watching live, I think it's only you two, Nick and Chris. Thank you for your support. I'm sorry for postponing this a day because, well, Thursday I forgot to buy the ricotta and I was too lazy to go and get some more, so I just had to postpone it. It takes some time to soak the water out of that ricotta. About maybe 8 hours overnight. It's not something that you can do quickly. Although I'm thinking next time, but then it might be the first episode for Will It Ravioli if I do it. Might put something that doesn't require draining, like maybe Parmesan or mozzarella, or heck, maybe even sausage. Sausage ravioli is always good, isn't it? Isn't it? Of course it is. Anywho, I think... Oh my goodness. These are looking good. How long am I supposed to cook these things? You know what? I'm going to fish one of these out and just feel it around, see if it's... Aye! Slippery. Slippery. Slipping and sliding on my fingertips. Aye, 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 hot, 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 hot. I always forget that hot water's hot. You know what? I think I'm going to cook these maybe one more minute. Because they are a little on the thick side, I think. Actually, you know, oh, I see a little puncture here on the side. A little bit for the water enemy to invade. But you know, I think I'm calling these done right now, so I'm going to turn that off. Turn over to the strainer. Take my ravioli pot and drain in the ravioli. I see a little bit of junk in the bottom of the pot, but this is just, and this stuff, before you worry, this stuff is just, I guess, scraped off from the bottom of the pan because it's a really, really old pan. A little bit of, I don't know, is that filling or dough? I don't know. Cast your opinion in the comments. But it's not nearly as bad as what happened last time. I can guarantee you that. Nick Herbst says, yay to ground sausage, maybe with some red pepper flakes and the ricotta. Ooh! That sounds good. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Ricotta, sausage, and some cayenne pepper flakes. That might be excellent. Great idea. Actually, no, I think these have drained enough. So let's put the raviolis in there. Put that on the side. Move the camera and jerk it around. Take the hot, mildly, actually really hot tomato sauce in, if the microwave wants to cooperate. And do a little dump job. And all right. And there we go. How's that for a thumbnail? That looks really, really fine. But now, let's let this cool off for just maybe a few minutes whilst I set the camera back into position. Well, crack! I knocked over the... I did not over, I just ran into the garbage can, which is right there. It's not usually there, but I wanted to put it there so I didn't have to walk in front of the camera whilst filming their stuff, or, yeah, while getting stuff from behind. But anyway, let's get out of here then. A little bit of cleans up here. Nick says, wow, Brian, I'm blowing up this chip, but those raviolis look amazing. After what happened last week, I think they're amazing. They're definitely amazing compared to last week, but we're getting to the moment of truth here. Do they taste amazing? Now, the filling I had the last time, I think it was good, but it was very, very watery because I forgot to drain the ricotta. I also thought that maybe the egg may have added a little bit too much moisture to it, but I'm confident that this filling will be fine. But anyway, these look a little bit hot. Let's take one of these raviolis here and just flop it around in this sauce. In this cheapo Meyer sauce. Probably nowhere near as good as mine. You know what? I think this might be a bad omen for me, but I'm putting a pot holder underneath this here. So anyway, let's just get another close-up of this single ravioli, if it's not too big there. Can we raise it up? Oh. One thing I hate about recording this on my cell phone is I can't see from behind or the front without flip-flopping the screen. So there we go. There's your close-up, second close-up, and now here comes the eating. Here we go. See, ricotta, jalapeno, stuffed ravioli. Here we go. Ah. The filling is hot, but it's not bad. I'm getting the jalapeno at the end. Of course, as you know, plain old ricotta doesn't really offer a lot in terms of flavor. And oh wow, I'm getting some of that jalapeno. It's not hot. I mean, jalapenos aren't hot, as anyone that knows it's not hot, but it's got its own distinct flavor. And I'm getting it. But for ravioli, this is solid. Hopefully, I'm afraid of burning my mouth on this one more bite. Not bad at all. I'd say these are excellent. As my tablet starts buzzing, and that's something else completely. I'll check that after the stream. But anyway, the verdict on the ravioli, perfecto. I think if I did a little bit more perfecting with the filling and perhaps maybe sealing above the edges, maybe cutting with the pizza cutter was a bad idea. Maybe open up some pores for some water to come in, maybe some of the filling a little bit watery, but all in all, this is leaps and bounds better than what I did last week. A couple more comments. Looks like restaurant quality. Would I do the jalapeno again? I agree, ricotta is kind of bland. Would I do jalapeno again? Absolutely. I don't really think it adds heat, but not too much flavor, at least the jalapeno flakes that I used. Although now I'm thinking of maybe some jalapeno puree mixed in with some of that ricotta might lend it some real flavor to it. That's an idea. But anyway, another bite. That's good. So the things I got to work on, come up with a better filling than just plain old ricotta, egg, and something else. Nick, I like your idea of mixing ravioli with sausage. I've also seen in stores, 4 cheese ravioli, though that might be making it a little bit less than bland. Or maybe just all Parmesan, or all maybe Romano, or some sort of hard cheese, some cheese with a little bit more oomph to it. Half ricotta, just because it's got the texture that you expect with ravioli, but some half of other cheese to give it some good flavor. Or you can be as stupid as I am and maybe try to put some weirdo ingredients, weirdo fillings into this. One of the first ideas I had was to put maybe some chili into the like real chili con carne, or maybe like the Skyline chili. Something bizarre and stupid like that, just to see if it works. That might be the first thing I do if I want to do a Will It Ravioli show. But I think I've rambled on long enough. I've almost gotten the full hour. I think this is a success. And no more new comments, so on that note, that will do it for another episode of Bryno's World Live. I want to thank all 2 of you for watching live, and everybody that's watching on demand on YouTube. If you got any ideas for things that I can do live in future episodes, please leave a comment down below, or just add a comment at the last second. Otherwise, don't forget to like this video once it's up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I think there was one more bit. I don't think there was any more bits. Well, I think I still have that shirt thing on online or whatever, but I mean, I don't worry about that too much. Nobody buys my merch anyway, except for 2 or 3 people. But anyway, I'm going to go off camera and finish the crap out of this ravioli, because I think it's superb. But once again, thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one. I don't know when I'm going to do another live show, maybe in a couple weeks or so. Christopher Herb says, looks delish. It's good for just plain old ricotta filling. It is delicious. I just got to come up with something more better, with maybe a little bit more oomph or a little bit more kick or punch to it. But anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Have a good evening, everyone. And I'm going offline now.